the she shed, insights
At the
she shed, anyway. So we are here actually traveling. Here's the she shed, we brought it with us.
Yep.
We're actually traveling from the she shed, and today we are here with Gwen Henry, and she is our DuPage County Treasurer, and I am Julie Hasowitz with Remax Suburban.
I'm Jamie Safransky with Remax Suburban.
I'm Jeannie Gorey with Neighborhood Loans.
She's
And
money
this-
in the middle, but she's not in the
Oh,
middle.
she's
today.
not-
I know, that's right. But we know what? We got money on both sides here.
Yeah.
Now. We got money on
There's
this
the money side of
money
the
side.
table.
Yes.
Okay, so we're here with Gwen Henry, and we are going to be talking about what our DuPage County Treasurer does.
And about property taxes.
Well, and we're talking about a lot of stuff, but let's start with Gwen, and Gwen, just give us a little snippet on what our DuPage County Treasurer does.
It's actually a question I often get asked, and my office has two jobs, and it's kind of a split job. The first one is, and as a treasurer, you would think I handle money.
Yeah.
We do. We pay all the bills of the county and maintain all the bank accounts for the county, do the investing for the county. So that's one side of the office. And the second side of the office handles property taxes. And we bill and collect the property taxes, and this year is going to be about $2.9 billion that
Wow.
we're billing
Wow.
and collecting. So that takes a good bit of our time. We're getting the bills ready now, and they'll be going out shortly, but that takes a fair amount of time.
How many people on average though are in your office? How many people you got working on this? Obviously there's you.
We have 16,
Okay.
16.
Wow.
so it's not a large office.
Wow.
Well, still,
Yeah,
a
so
lot of money for 16 people
Well, we
to
get
take
a
care
lot
of.
done. 16 people get a lot done.
Very
Oh,
efficient.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been the treasurer?
12 years.
Okay.
Just got reelected starting a new term.
Okay.
Fantastic. Congrats. That's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Wait, and how long is your term?
4 years.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
just like the president.
And then, you know what, I think I think that what a lot of people are confused about is the difference between the treasurer and the assessor. Because I think a lot of people assume that you determine what people pay in taxes. And I think that's a big,
And that's not true at all.
Misnomer.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
That's not true at
misnomer.
all. Actually, there are 3 offices involved in getting the tax bill out, and the first one is the assessor's office. We have a supervisor of assessments at the county, and then I live in Milton Township, so we have an assessor in Milton, and he's responsible for determining the assessed value of all the properties in Milton Township. So
Okay.
there are 9 townships, every one of them has an assessor. And he determines the value of the property. You have to have that first before you can do the bill.
Yeah.
Right.
And the second piece comes from the county clerk, who takes all of the levies coming in and determines what the tax rates will be.
Got it.
And then once they've done that, I prepare a bill and send it out.
And so the levies, that's another thing, right? So what are the levies? What does that, because they kind of weigh that out to determine the taxes?
Yes, the levies actually come from the taxing bodies, so if you've looked at your tax bill, you'll notice that you have a number of people that
Yeah.
get share of your
Right,
money.
right.
College
Yeah.
of DuPage.
Yeah.
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 And
All
the
school districts.
School
Yeah.
districts.
Yes.
Your school district.
Right.
Park
So-
district.
Park district. Yeah.
So they all send their
Exactly.
bill into the county clerk and say, this is how much money we want to collect this year. And then the county clerk checks and makes sure they haven't gone over any of the limits that they're under, if they have a tax cap or anything like that.
Okay.
So the clerk determines that, and then the clerk certifies the levy, and then it goes in, and then we'll add all the levies up for all, in this case, Milton Township, or Wheaton, because we live in Wheaton.
Right.
And then we come up with how much the total tax rate will be. And then that is a factor then of the tax
Oh,
assessed
that is-
Look
value.
at that.
That is one of,
math.
that is
Yeah.
one of the factors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's 2 factors in determining your bill, the assessed value and the tax rate.
Got
Those
it.
2 are what
Okay.
determines your bill.
Got it.
And
Fascinating.
is there a cap in DuPage County where your home can only go up so much per year?
No.
There is nothing. Same thing with Cook County.
Okay.
I
Yes.
saw that just recently
Yeah.
and showing a house to someone, and we saw the taxes went up 35% one year and 26% the next year. Of course, they bought a house that had a senior freeze. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff going on there, but that was a
Well,
lot.
that would affect, but
Yeah.
the only people that can see that their value will not increase is someone who has a senior freeze. You have to be over 65 and income of 55,000 or less, then you apply for it. It doesn't say your taxes won't go up, it's just your assessed value will not go up.
Got it.
Oh,
So they can change your tax
interesting.
rate.
Your tax rate could
change.
increase,
Could increase.
go up
Oh,
or
so
down.
your taxes aren't really totally, like your bill isn't frozen in time.
Never.
No.
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
So look at that.
Yeah, see, we're learning here.
We're learning.
We're learning.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
now
so
notes, take notes.
What's the difference in between the freeze and the senior exemption?
The senior exemption is anybody who's over 65 is entitled to that.
Right.
And there's
But
no
then is
salary
there-
limit.
Is there a senior, isn't there two senior ones? Like a senior freeze and a senior exempt, or are they the
Yes.
same?
Yes, there's,
No,
there's
those are
different.
different.
Okay,
the senior freeze is what I just said, where
Right,
you can get your
right.
value frozen.
Yeah.
Right.
The senior exemption is just where you get the money deducted from,
Like the discount off the top of your bill.
yeah, the top.
okay.
Same
being a
as a
senior.
homeowner exemption,
Yes,
right?
Right.
That's the senior exemption.
So while we're saying this, you can get a homeowner's exemption, but you have to live in the home,
Right.
right? Do you have to live there for so many years, or do you just have to be living,
You have
that's
to
your
be living
main
in the home.
resident, right?
Main resident.
And then you have your senior exemption when you reach a specific age, which
Right.
is 65.
65. And it only has to be one person of the, if there's a married couple and one's 65 and one's not, you only have to have one who's 65. So that's kind of a nice.
That-
So the benefit of marrying
Yeah.
someone older, you have
Marry an
a,
older,
Yes.
marry an
Get
older
that older
spouse.
man. Well,
Who did
and
that at my
when
house?
do you-
I did that at my house. I'm gonna like
my
marry my
husband did that at our
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So when do you have to apply for your, excuse me, I sell real estate, so I know you
Yeah.
instantly apply when you buy a house for your homeowner exemption, right? You do that right away. But when do you apply, or I suppose you would do your senior exemption, same thing. If you buy a house, it's pretty
Right
simple.
away.
But let's say I turn 65 this May, which I'm not, I'm going to be 56.
According to her husband, though, she'll be 35.
Yeah, oh yeah, her husband thinks I'm 35. I'm gonna get his eyes checked. Anyway, so I'm gonna be, okay, so anyway, so let's say this May, I'm turning 65. So when do I apply? Now this is in May, right?
When you turn 65, you
Yes.
go into the supervisor of assessments office at the county or your local assessor's office. You can do it
Okay.
either place. Take proof that you're 65
Uh-huh.
and proof of your residency and that you own the house you're living in,
Okay.
applying for the senior.
Wonderful.
What is your proof of residency? Like I know this with my kids, like with school and stuff,
Yeah,
like
you're-
bills.
Bills.
Yeah, you're really saying, that, yeah, I do live there.
Yeah,
Utility
okay.
bills.
Utility
and-
bills.
And
your
your
driver's
gonna
license.
show up with your name on a bill or whatever,
Right,
and they're
yeah,
gonna know.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then that will kick in for that next, and that gets to this, which I talk about a
Property
lot.
taxes.
Property taxes, we pay in the rear.
Right.
The rears.
Rears.
Why is it called arrears? What is that?
Because you're paying 1 year behind.
Yeah, I'm just saying the
Arrear.
rear, not in the
Rear.
rear, in
Right.
arrears.
So
Okay.
we're paying, so this year, it's 2019, we're paying the property taxes for the year of 2018.
Correct.
And that's
Right.
what that means.
And your bill will actually show that, it's for the tax year 2018,
Yes.
show on
Right.
the bill, so
Yeah.
there's no question.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Which year you're paying for.
Right.
And you guys ought to know that very much
We
when
do.
you're working on closings.
Absolutely.
And you have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, and we
Well-
get prorate all the time for escrowing and all that.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
for instance, when we list homes, we want to get the latest tax bill. Well, guess what? The tax bill is coming out on the treasurer's site
Right?
May 1st.
When does it come out? May 1st.
So May 1st, you could actually look up your taxes. You don't have to wait till that bill comes, you know,
Yeah.
and you can just look them up. Well, we're gonna have to pause for now,
Okay.
and we're gonna end on taxes, but we probably still have more to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yes,
I think we'll
we'll
have
be
a
back
second.
shortly.
We'll come back on another day. We'll bring
Yeah.
you some information on, we're just going to talk about property taxes.
More with Gwen.
More
More
Gwen.
with
Stay
Gwen.
tuned.
Thank you
Stay
so
tuned.
much
Thank
for
you.
joining us,
Thanks,
Gwen.
thanks.
That was really
Stay
enlightening.
tuned.
To be
Yeah.
here.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, see you soon.
Was that enough?